momento eu encostei nela. A história foi essa. Saí do treino de manhã, treinei, e depois do treino, peguei meu carro e fui até o hotel onde ela estava. A gente almoçou junto, normal. Conversamos normal. Tudo tranquilo.
Manchester United's Antony has conducted a TV interview defending himself, putting forward his version of events under the accusations that he currently has been accused of course, from his ex-girlfriend and from 2 other women that have come out. Now, the interview is in Portuguese. We're going to break down what it is that he said. Going to give you obviously my opinions. I want to hear yours as well. But this is a very big move from the Manchester United player and Man United Football Club, who would have had to have given him permission to come out and speak about this. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. He put out a big tweet a week ago defending himself and making claims that the accusations were completely and utterly false. He has now come out and done a TV interview and broken this down in even more detail. Of course, I want you to share this. I want you to get as many opinions and eyes on this as you can, because I think it's very important for football and for Manchester United for that to happen. Hit like buttons as well. That helps this video get out there and more people to see it. So give that a smash for us. Now, breaking down what Antony has said, and we'll go through this. And there's also a person that I follow who is Brazilian. They've listened to this in native tongue, given an opinion on it as well. But I do want to gauge yours. It's very, very important to me indeed. So Antony speaks out here. It says after the accusations of assault on his ex-girlfriend. And he starts, first thing that he says here is, this is a breakdown of the situation where he says, I wanted to go and told her that I had obligations and had to go. So he's talking about having to leave. And he is suggesting here that his ex-girlfriend become frustrated that he had to go. Now, because of the translation, I'm not sure whether he means to a game, to training, or maybe to, a media commitment or something along those lines. He said, so she took plates and cups and threw them at the ground, and I grabbed her in order to calm her down. I didn't hurt her. So this is him, saying that there was definitely some altercations, there was definitely some fire, there was definitely some arguments between the 2 of them that got to a point where he felt he had to restrain her. So there's no, for me, I'm not saying there's an admission of guilt in this. I'm not an expert. I'm not pretending to be. But this is him saying that there was some issues. However, I didn't attack her or beat her or do the things in which she said. He also goes on in the interview, and they asked him about himself being removed from the squad of Brazil. And he said that it was hard. I felt really bad because it was for something that wasn't true. He was then questioned as to whether or not he was worried that Manchester United would cancel his contract and terminate his contract, fire him. He says, this is something that never occurred to me. I know the truth will come out. And again, this is a very big statement from Antony, because this isn't just somebody via a PR team putting out a very small, very concise tweet and then radio silence until the police investigation is concluded and we find out whether he is, we're told that he's innocent or he's being charged. This is someone now for the second time, but in person now, face on camera, never going to be deleted, saying the truth will come out. Very, very, I don't want to say brave. I don't want to say brave, but he has to be absolutely sure in himself. Absolutely sure in himself. Because if he's now proven to be a liar, if the evidence comes out and he has done these things, if the video footage comes out and it is conclusive, none of us have seen that footage, by the way, so none of us can judge it. But he has put himself in a whole bigger world of trouble because he has openly but he's openly stated that he's done nothing wrong. It's always going to land you in a worse light from a legal standpoint. In terms of Manchester United, it puts the club into a much more precarious position now, because if we don't suspend, we take his word for it, and he's not telling the truth, it's an even bigger problem. It's a more seismic issue for Manchester United. So the due diligence now done by this club has to be to a microscopic level. If they're going to back the player, and listen, as fans, you can all have your own opinions. Some of you will say suspend, some of you say innocent until proven guilty, and I understand that. But let's separate ourselves, who all have limited access to the information, player, situation, and look at this from the club's point of view. Our opinions become irrelevant here. What we should all be asking is the club doesn't just mindlessly, doesn't just through blinded loyalty say, yeah, we'll back you. We have to be sure that he's telling the truth. I've said all along that I hope he is, but we have to be 100% sure. Also in the interview, he goes on to, Antony says here that I don't support this violence against women ever. It's totally wrong, 100% wrong. I have a mother, a sister, and I would never want this to happen to them. Now, this is kind of one of those cliched lines for me, personally, that doesn't need to be said. I understand why somebody facing these accusations may say it out of panic, out of frustration, out of desperation, potentially. But of course, it always sounds to me like a bit of a, you know, when people get accused of being racist and they say, well, I've got a black friend, it just makes me cringe. It's like that doesn't mean anything, really. In reality, it doesn't mean very much at all. So it was an interesting interview. But then I saw a tweet from Ryan Silva, who speaks Portuguese. And what he has said about this situation is very, very interesting for me. Because what he has stated about this situation is, because I've watched the entire interview and honestly seems he did the right thing. His image is incredibly damaged in Brazil. He spoke well and everything adds up. He included, and we haven't seen all of this because the whole thing hasn't come out yet. He included texts that she deleted, medical documents that contradict her version of events, and witnesses. He also goes on to say, if he is guilty, her lawyers need to get on it because at the moment, something doesn't add up. So that's, again, and there's probably people that have listened to this who speak Portuguese that have a different take on it. And if you've got that, send it through to me. It's something I think as Man United fans, we need to be close to. But it was interesting to see this take. And I think it's fair, and I want to be fair, and I want to be balanced throughout the whole of this process that, yes, there's been evidence that's been and pictures revealed and stories that make Man United and the player look bad. I also think it's important to include elements of the story that support the club and support the player, because balance is key in these circumstances. I've always believed that balance is key. And if there are text messages and documentation and information that contradicts stories, they need to be put out there, because as much as I think the world needs to help stop domestic violence, and men that do this and women that do this need to be punished, at the same time, we have to make sure that anybody that's innocent is not being caught in the crossfire. Both these things are very, very important indeed. So it was an interesting take there from Ryan Silva surrounding this. But my views, my feelings on this situation remain pretty much the same as they always have done. The club needs to be 110% sure of what's going on here. Yes, this is an emotional, open, heartfelt response from Antony. You can watch it and listen to it and go, I think he's telling the truth. Thinking something is not good enough for the club. You as a fan, that's on you, my bro. It doesn't really matter what you think or feel, or I think or feel, in terms of the reality of the situation. It's about doing the right thing. A thorough investigation needs to be underway by Man United. I believe until the club is adamant that he's done nothing wrong, he should not kick a ball, and he should not appear publicly for Manchester United Football Club. I think that is the right thing, not just the moral thing to do, but the correct thing for everybody. He has now come out, Antony, and stated that he is 100% innocent, providing evidence and not contradicting, but challenging details and witness statements and evidence that's been provided against him. Interestingly, the first time I've seen anybody talk about the reception that he's had in Brazil. They're saying his image in Brazil is damaged because of this. Right now, people are giving him a very hard time in Brazil as well. He's getting a hard time here in England also. So the club has to be absolutely 1,000% sure that he's innocent if he's to appear publicly and remain part of this first team squad. Due diligence is needed for multiple reasons. And I just want to see Man United behave in the right way through this circumstance. I'll reiterate again, I hope he's innocent. And I hope he is innocent because I do not want there to be a victim of these alleged crimes. That is my first priority. I also hope that he's innocent because I know he's not having a great time on the field of play, and I've criticised him a lot, but I don't want a player that I've cheered for, supported, and he's had some really good moments in a Man United shirt, the goal against Arsenal, the goal against Barca, I cheered and celebrated. I don't want that to be marred by him having undertaken these actions on a number of occasions against different people. So yeah, there is a personal feeling that I don't want this to happen either. But more importantly for me, I want Manchester United Football Club to behave in the right way, do the honourable, the moral, the integral thing here. Forget about the field of play. Oh, we might need him. We might need him. That shouldn't even be in our thought process. It should be, let's do the right thing first. Look, everybody, I want your views and I want your opinions on this situation. The interview that's come out, the words that he has used. Leave me your comments below. Please subscribe to the Football Terrace as well. Hit like buttons and share. I think it's important that this information, content, and opinions get out there. Until next time, everybody, look after yourselves. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. See you soon.